Eddie, too. Any thoughts on the Amazon deal with PBC?
Yeah, I don't know the financials of it, but listen, from the outset, it's great. You know, it's a great deal for boxing because it's another broadcaster coming in, a powerful broadcaster, and it shows other broadcasters and it shows the sport that boxing works and there's interest. So new investment, new broadcaster. Again, I don't know if there's even rights fees or if it's a share of revenue or whatever, but a new broadcaster.
It's supposed to get a bit of response that downplays it, Eddie. Not this nice guy stuff. What is
no,
this?
listen, I want boxing to work. I want new broadcasters to come in because, you know, DAZN we're on fire right now. The numbers are great. They've got a proper business for boxing, but I want competition for DAZN and me because it makes DAZN more competitive. They want to push the boundaries. They want to take the chances. If you just control the market, if you like, you imagine that no US broadcasters were in boxing anymore. You know, it's a wrap. Do you know what I mean? So, again, I have no idea of the depth of rights fees, if there even are rights fees, but for a powerful broadcaster or platform to be involved, I think it's good for the sport.
And any response to Malik Scott and maybe Deontay as well, forgive me, don't quote me on that, but saying, Malik Scott definitely saying, you don't want to make the Joshua Wilder fight.
I think that sometimes, you know, I go back to the TFE, some people, like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but just think about what you're saying, yeah? Apparently, I'm just all about the money, right? Joshua, I just want to make money out of Joshua, whatever.
Right.
But also, I can't make money out of Joshua in small fights. I didn't make a lot of money out of Joshua fighting Franklin or Joshua fighting Helenius. Like, not being funny, I got a lot of money. I'm not interested in Joshua fighting for a 5 million, 6 million, whatever it is. It's nothing for me. I want Joshua to make 50, right? 2 or 3 times, then we make a load of money. And guess what? In big fights, that's the level of money he's going to make. So, what am I? Do I want money or do I not want money? I don't understand. I want him to fight Deontay Wilder because I believe he beats him. And I believe that's financially the right fight for AJ, financially the right fight for me. So these guys, I don't really know what they're talking about. He better be switched on because he'll lose to Joseph Parker on December 23rd. He can punch like a mule, but Joseph is up for this fight. And I know that he's had his defeats and stuff like that, but coming out from a year, it ain't going to be easy. And he better win because when he wins, and if we win, which I believe we will, we're going to fight.
Next?
Yes.
You're saying it right here.
Yes.
That fight is next.
And AJ's going to knock him out.
Does AJ already have a mental edge? What we saw in the presser, he was stone-faced as Wilder was.
The crazy thing is that at that press conference, Deontay Wilder couldn't have been more respectful to AJ. It's almost like, and then afterwards he says AJ looked scared. I mean, AJ couldn't, like, he was just not even like, yeah, whatever. Oh, AJ looks scared. He's like, it's crazy. Deontay, great fighter. Make sure you win. I like Joseph Parker. Secretly, I hope he wins, but I don't really because then we'll lose the fight. But whatever. Make sure you win. We'll win. You'll get your wish and you'll get beat.
And lastly, Eddie, thank you so much for your time. I'm not picking on you. American promoters have done it. European promoters have done it. Is it an indictment at all when you, in a way, like you haven't moved the needle quite like you want to, United States or Europe, not just you, people that go to the Saudis and the Middle East to get the money. Is that an indictment on all, like, okay, you couldn't quite move the needle in Europe or in the United States, so now you're going to a place where they're not even necessarily turning a profit. They're giving out big amounts of money.
I disagree about moving the needle. I mean, we've been moving the needle in Europe for years. I mean, over here, we've moved the needle in big fights. Sometimes, as we know in boxing, average fights or small fights do okay, don't really move the needle. Big fights move the needle. So when we did Canelo against Bivol, or we did Canelo against Billy Joe, or Canelo against Golovkin, they moved the needle. You know, when we do Regis against Haney, it's going to move the needle. Now, not to the level of Canelo Alvarez, but we've seen it at the gate. And the gate is always a direct translation of the pay-per-view success. Trust me, I've been around long enough to see that. People say, oh, the gate means nothing compared to pay-per-view. It does. It's called demand. Whatever way you want to look at it. It is a pure indicator. So I think this show will do really well on Saturday. The reason for moving to the Middle East is really for opportunities for our fighters and for the sport and for the business. Yeah, it's a prize fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why Deontay Wilder.
For the growth of the sport?
No, but we're so limited with our imagination. How's it bad for the growth of sport? It's just another country. It's good for the growth of the sport. It might be bad for the growth of the sport in America because you're taking big fights. But we live in this thing called the world, and the world is boxing. So we can't just say that, oh, we're going to another country. That's bad for boxing. Of course, we want to make sure that as a Brit, that I bring big fights to Britain. But I can't say to a fighter, there's this opportunity to make X in the Middle East, but I don't want you to do that because it's bad for British boxing. And it's not bad for British boxing. As long as the fights get made, it's good for global boxing.
Thank you, Eddie.
Cheers, mate.